If only Dole Whip could actually be the solution to all my problems. Anyways, am I coming through okay? Alrighty. Yeah, my Wi-Fi signals are acting up again. My regular 2.5 hertz and my 5G hertz isn't getting picked up, so I'm going off of the off my Wi-Fi extender again. And for some reason, that's still working. But if it's working, it's working. I'm not gonna complain much. Here's hoping it sticks. Let's make sure everything is synced. A, B, C. 1, 2, 3. Synced already. So, where we last left off, we were still in the middle of an investigation. Oh, Stormy's playing Animal Crossing. It's been a while since I played Animal Crossing. Anyways, yeah, we're still in the middle of an investigation. We're in the evidence room, I believe. We just got into the evidence room and Gumshoe's there and we're about to start looking around. Alright, so we got all this. We got like the evidence lockers that only the all these evidence lockers are like personalized, so each detective has their own evidence locker. Wow, look at this big pile of junk in the corner. That looks like a car door. There's a pair of handcuffs attached to the frame. Maybe the guy they caught was some sort of escape artist and got away. Hey, that's one of those human profiles for range testing. He's been shot square in the forehead. Better him than us. It is a one hole. Was real Cyber here? There's something sticking out of here. It looks like a shirt. It must be evidence for some case. I wonder if Detective Gumshoe put this here. There you go, pal, making me out be some kind of a slob. I'm not responsible for the evidence here. That said, I bet that evidence locker was open recently. How do you know? If you leave things hanging out like that, the evidence gets dirty or ripped. The guard checks on that kind of stuff and notifies the detective responsible. How many times have I had him breathing down my neck about some silly evidence? Sounds like Detective Gumshoe leaves evidence hanging out a lot, too. I bet he doesn't tuck in his shirt under that trench coat, either. If you're gonna talk behind someone's back, don't do it right in front of them, pal. This place is stuffed with evidence. Stuffed with dreams. I'm not so sure about the dreams. It won't open. Did you really think it would? Hey pal, our security is high tech around here. Is this the stuff from the, because that looks like the metal detector and the fishing pole that I used in the, Turnabout Goodbyes case. Some sort of bulky equipment gathering dust here. What a sorry looking fishing pole that is. Ah, that's my personal pole. I never did get around to using it. Wait, I've seen that somewhere before. Right, pal, that's the metal detector. The one that led to the solving that case out on Gourd Lake, remember? Oh, right. Wow, that feels like ages ago. And, I don't think I've seen this one before. Oh, that's a bug sweeper. I'm sure it'll come in handy in solving some case sooner or later. That cheap-looking box. You can't judge a person or a machine by the cover. You gotta look at the heart. This one's got a bloody handprint. What's this? Blood? It's a little worn, but there's definitely a handprint here. Looks like someone tried to wipe it off. Mr. Wright! What if there are other bloodstains left in the room? I should use your testing fluid to check it out. What's a saw and paint doing here? Since the dawn of time, thousands of years ago, true art has always been a war against oppression. True art? I noticed that there's blue and yellow paint here. Perhaps we're witnessing the birthplace of the Blue Badger? Well, you might say this is my studio. Here? In the evidence room. Someone left a glove here, but only one. Oh, it's got SL9 on it. Detective Gumshoe, maybe? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of absent-minded detective. There's evidence from the case, you know. I mean, SL9 does have a tag on it. Extremely thin rubber glove. Wow, someone must have broken something big to make all these pieces. Detective Gumshoe, perhaps? There you go, pal, making me out to be some kind of hooligan. That's apparently from the case. The case? The SL9 incident, pal. See the sticker on one of the pieces here? Another piece of SL9 evidence. I wonder what shape these pieces were in before it was I wonder what shape these pieces were in before whatever it was broke. Want to try and put it back together? Ha! Good luck, pal. That's no job for amateurs. Why, I spent a good 3 hours on that before I had to give up. That's why I always carry a tube of glue. Well, this piece looks like the bottom. Let's try putting the rest in place. A puzzle, you say? Oops. Wrong button. Let's try that again. X was combined, okay. think we did it, but some of the pieces are missing. Yeah, I got that far, too, in 2 minutes myself. Problem is finishing it. Were some pieces stolen? I bet they were missing to begin with. Still, doesn't look like the most stable kind of jar. I kind of understand how it got broken. Is it supposed to be a trophy of some kind? Look, this one's open, and the red indicator light is above the door is lit. That locker is coated with Detective Goodman's fingerprint. Detective Goodman's locker. Are you sure it's okay to leave it open like that? Well, it'd be hard to get it open again if we closed it. It's empty. It must have taken contents elsewhere. Anything else in here? There are two things that bother me. One, why are some of the pieces missing? And two, doesn't it seem a little unstable? I think it's because it's part of something bigger. No wonder it broke. I'll make sure to remember that next time I make a jar. Allow me to say one thing, speaking as a detective. If I see a piece of evidence that I know nothing about, I say nothing. Nothing. That's fine. You bet it's fine, pal. I knew it. This is someone's right handprint. What? What's the matter, detective? This locker. It's mine. It's yours. Please. You have to help me. When they come take me away, promise you'll testify that I wouldn't harm a fly. You'll do that for me, won't you, pals? This is an important clue. I'll jot it down in the floor plans. I'm counting on you guys. Believe me, you can't trust the police. What? But you're a detective. Well, why don't you open it? What's inside? Ooh. Oh, that's a lot of blood. It must have been one massive pool of blood. Never seen anything like it. I'm not a professional, but what's your opinion, detective? Pale blue blood? An android's been here. Maybe Detective Goodman was actually an alien. This proves that something really happened in front of this locker. I'll make a note of it on the floor plans. Hey, if you didn't want my opinion, you shouldn't have asked. Oh, hello. Why am I getting a reaction here? There's no reason for the murderer to touch this spot if he fled out the door. This just might be something significant. Hey, that's some pretty amazing stuff you got there, pal. What, this? It's called luminol testing fluid. Where'd you get your hands on that? Huh? I'd like to get some too. I'll just borrow $50 from the chief. Where'd you get this, Emma? I always buy it by mail order. Amazon. Well, I'd better jot this down in the floor plans. Amazon. That way Truck Chen can deliver it. Might as well be thorough. Okay, I think we got all of it. Oh my god, my eyes. Everything is green. God, that's a lot of evidence. Sheriff's back in the Wild West didn't place much faith in evidence. About the only thing they trusted was their shooting hand. This is neither Wild nor West here. But that and this are two different things entirely. I guess so? Huh? I'm lost. It looks like we need some evidence to get anywhere with this guy. At least I'm not getting penalized for this. Wait, what is it? The second number. It's not your ID number, is it, Detective Gumshoe? Mr. Edgeworth? What? Wait, Edgeworth was in here? The second number on this list belongs to Mr. Edgeworth. What? Why would Edgeworth have come to the evidence room? Hey, pal, look at the time. Well, is there something you need to be going to? It's just that Mr. Edgeworth's inquiry committee should be letting out soon. I'm going to give them my report for the day. Is that a restaurant menu? Might help, you know. Report? You mean the note written on the back of that flyer? One that says nothing but no problems. Hey, it's Mr. Edgeworth we're talking about. I'm sure you can use a report like this. I believe in him. He's enemies when you got friends like Detective Gumshoe. I'm off, pal. Later. You should probably see what Edgeworth has to say, too. Alright, so what was that? 8730579 miles Edgeworth, 4:40 p.m. And we've had one at 5:14. Bruce Goodman. He showed up twice. That might have been what's his name? That one police officer. Meekins. Mike Meekins. And I wonder who 77777 is. 420. Heyo. Where is Meekins? Nope. There we go. Officer Meekins, could you take a look at this? I'm sorry, sir. Really sorry, but I have no idea what that is. Maybe you should ask Mr. Edgeworth, sir. He's passing the buck, Mr. Wright. And it takes a special kind of man to pass the buck to Mr. Edgeworth. Wait a minute. 5. No, we scratched it out. Okay. Alright, let's head to the office and see what find any traction. Well, isn't it obvious? Mystery of the victim, I guess. How could one man, Detective Goodman, be killed in two places simultaneously? Well, you see, we should go to the police department. The evidence wasn't. I'm not being very useful here, am I? No, you're being very helpful. Sir Edgeworth. All those rumors. Oh yeah, we should talk to Edgeworth. I can't help but think someone at the police department doesn't like Edgeworth. What the hell are you doing here? Ah, guests. My apologies. Oh, it's you. Have we met somewhere? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth, I beg your leave. So long. Is Edgeworth here? There, standing by the window, a teacup in his hand. Right. He has the hotel bring him tea service. Mr. Edgeworth, you're back from the district prosecutor's office inquiry? I am. By the way, Detective Gumshoe was looking for you. Yes, he brought me the latest information, it seems. Really? Was it helpful? Apparently, a new French restaurant is opening near here. I think he was trying to console me somehow. Real info's on the other side, Edgeworth. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. I think this whole thing's really taking a toll on him. So, how did the inquiry committee go? Actually, they decided to treat this as not a case of concealing evidence, but as a communications error during the investigation. Concealing evidence? Yes, apparently there are some who believe that I concealed evidence. They gave me a warning. You were lucky this time. Again. Again? I've heard them say that so many times. Ever since that case 2 years ago. Are you okay for the trial tomorrow? Well, I'm still the presiding prosecuting attorney. However, something happened. They gave me control of the investigation. They gave control of the investigation over to the police department. The police department? Yes. Any further investigation for the case will be directed by the chief of police, Gant. I can do nothing but wait for his results. I see. Why, I ask you, why? All along, I've done only what I believe is right. I have nothing to be ashamed of. But still, well, I've never seen him this out of sorts. Stop being edgy, Edgeworth. Oh, right, I'd better check this now. As I was saying, What's this? A record of ID card usage. Edgeworth, you went into the evidence room that day, didn't you? Just before the incident occurred, no less. Yes, that's true. Why, Mr. Edgeworth? Please don't look at me like that. I was asked to go. By Chief Gant, no less. The Chief of Police? You wanted evidence for a case that was wrapped up half a year ago. He told me he wanted to keep it here in the prosecutor's office. But it was solved, right? It would have to be if the evidence was already filed. The chief is never one to explain himself. In any case, on the day of the stabbings, I brought this back here. Can I ask what kind of case it was? I can't say. It really has nothing to do with the current case. I'm curious about this other case. I better make a note of it. Stubborn as always, I told you this has nothing to do with the current case. You don't expect me to sit here and discuss the case with you over a cup of tea? I'll pass on the tea. Just tell me about the case. Mr. Wright, Mr. Edgeworth just told you no in a very polite manner. Whose side are you on anyway? Maybe if I just show him my best evidence, I can get some reaction out of him. You mean like this? About this? Gonna shotgun everything. What is this? I-16. What's that got to do with anything? Nothing, apparently. At least that's what Edward said. That makes it seem all the more suspicious. Who knows? This might turn out to be the clue that breaks the case. Well, wouldn't that be nice? Oh! I fast forwarded and completely missed stuff. If you're gonna be telling about this sooner or later. Must be talking about his father's murder in that elevator. Okay, Edgeworth, why don't you tell me about it? Tell me the truth. It all has to do with that case you were on, the SL9 incident. Some dark suspicion you were wrapped up in. You were the man who revived the worst memory of my life. Oh, okay. So that's a step in the right direction. That one also prompted something. How come that one doesn't prompt anything? Shut up. Is there anything inside? Oh yeah, I didn't check that. Hey look, they're hard to make out, but there's some dark red stains here. Looks like blood. Do you think Detective Goodman's blood somehow got on this when he was stabbed? Not likely. This blood looks like it's been here for months, maybe longer. This jar was evidence in the SL9 incident. Now might be when the blood got on it. How about now? Nope. I can't spray it. Oh. that whole time, the SM9 incident was a heinous serial killing case. The head of the investigation was the deputy chief of police at the time, Damon Gant. That wacky old coot was involved in the case 2 years ago too then. He was a top officer. That was my first time working with him. I was nervous. Wow, you get nervous too, Mr. Edgeworth? What I want to know is why was a deputy chief professor... God, I cannot read. Deputy chief of police on the investigation. In truth, I used slightly more extreme methods than normal. We were dealing with a vicious murderer. If I let him go, the blood would be on my hands. We won our guilty verdict, and the killer was executed. Wait, you didn't... Of course not. I didn't touch the evidence. Yes, I will do anything in my power to travel. However, I did have a code, and I follow it faithfully. By the way, the chief prosecutor wanted to know something. My sister? What? If you were still studying forensic science. Huh? Yes, of course. Why, just today Mr. Wright and I were using this. Luminol testing fluid, huh? Well then, you might have use for this. Aluminum powder for taking fingerprints? It's been chemically treated for better adhesion. For me? Are you sure? What? We are the enemy, you know. I have no say in today's investigation. Do as you will. Edgeworth, I'm really... No need to thank me. Here, take your powder and these fingerprint files for everyone involved. Thanks. I wonder how about giving these to Detective Gumshoe as well? Mix the aluminum powder with thermite. Just burn everything down. Well, let's get going. One last investigation. Right. I do remember seeing a suspicious handprint somewhere. Oh, she's gone. He's gone too. Our investigation turned up by a suspicious handprint. Here, in this blood on Detective's evidence locker. Right, let's get started. First, choose a finger. Finger? Each finger leaves behind a slightly different imprint. So let's choose the finger that will left behind the clearest print. Okay, now's the time to check for prints. Started getting that sparkle in her eyes. First we sprinkle the aluminum powder around. Huh? How do you do that? With the A button, see? Ah, looks like that did the trick. Once the powder is well spread, just blow away the excess. Huh? How do I do that? With the X button. Exciting, I know. Imagine you blowing out the candles on a birthday cake, see? Wow, it looks like fun. It might take some getting used to, though. It's fine. It won't go up your nose or anything. In the DS version, you have to blow and like... Oh, neat. Those are the basics of fingerprinting, Mr. Wright. I guess I better give it a try. did it. You found one. But this looks nothing like a fingerprint. Now that you mention, I guess it doesn't. What does it mean? I think it means we're out of luck. Out of luck? The person who left this handprint must have worn gloves. Don't tell me we've been wasting our time here. Hey, calm down. That's just the way it goes sometimes with the scientific investigations. But it does seem a shame. While we're at it, why don't you look for other prints? Other prints? Looking at the locker again closely. Yeah. What about this? Hello. Really? Is there more to it? Just cover the whole damn thing. There we go. Yeah, your print's so clear, it's dazzling. Dazzling? Anyway, this print took a lot of effort to find. Let's match it up right away. So we're not done yet? This is quite a process. Well, there's no point in finding a fingerprint and not knowing who the owner is, right? I guess she's right. Look at the fingerprint data we got from Mr. Edgeworth, and point out the person you think left these prints. How am I supposed to know who it was? I could make a pretty good guess. The bloody handprint and the fingerprints are in different places, right? That means the prints probably don't have anything to do with our case. So whose fingerprints would we most likely find on this evidence locker? Yeah, it's gumshoes. Aha! These prints belong to Detective Gumshoe. Something wrong, Mr. Wright? You gave me this so what look. I guess that's probably because I was thinking, so what? Okay, so we came up with nothing but this time, but there's always next time. Sometimes you hit, sometimes you miss. You gotta roll with the punches, Mr. Wright. Thanks for the sympathy. Wait, if I remember correctly, there was one other handprint in this room. Let's check it out. This is where we got a luminol fluid reaction, right? Right, there was a handprint here. There goes, check for prints. Oh, I have to warn you about something first. What? The area with the blood was wiped away, right? We only ended up finding it using chemical means. Any prints in the area that will have been wiped away too. Oh, right. So that means no prints. Would you say the probability of your hypothesis is high? Don't ask me. Anyway, we must try to find prints that weren't wiped away. I gave it my best shot. That kind of result won't be any good for matching prints, will it? But it doesn't look like we'll get a clearer result from this print. Okay, let's try a different finger then. Bingo. Marshall? Hey, these fingerprints, whose are they? Whose? Is it someone I know? It's Officer Marshall. Huh? Officer Jake Marshall? That's gotta be a coincidence. He's not involved in the crime. Emma, this is decidedly different from Gumshoe's handprints. Luminal reaction. The blood and the fingerprints are in the same place. Oh! So we have Jake Marshall's fingerprints on a wiped blood stain. But why would Officer Marshall? Looks like our investigation finally turned up some results. I guess this is what you'd call decisive evidence. I don't believe it. We're finally gonna go into the case, or the courtroom. Trial? Yeah. So, what do you think, Mr. Wright? I think the prosecution is as confused as we are. After all, the victim was murdered in 2 places at the same time, and a different suspect was arrested at each of the crime scenes. Lana! Good morning, Mr. Wright. I apologize for yesterday. I was indisposed. I hope they didn't hold you for too long for questioning. We just finished, actually. I'm used to all-nighters, though. So, how did it go? It says Mr. Wright suspects. The police are clueless. I figured as much, so I struck a plea bargain. A plea bargain? What do you mean by that? We agreed that if I told them the truth behind this simultaneous murder, they wouldn't seek capital punishment. That's what I mean, Emma. Lana, don't tell me you... Much to my regret, I'm as much in the dark about this as they are. Miss Skye. We found trace evidence of a certain person in the police department's evidence room. They belonged to Officer Jake Marshall. What kind of trace evidence? Bloodstained fingerprints, to be exact. That's a trump card I have on my sleeve today. You do understand what this means, don't you? In order to defend my sister, are you going to accuse Mr. Marshall? We have to play the cards we're dealt. Isn't that right, Miss Skye? Do what you have to do, Mr. Wright. Here we go. Court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is... I'm afraid you'll have to clarify. It takes 30 minutes by car to reach the police department from the prosecutor's office. Yet the victim, Bruce Goodman, was slain at both places at the same time. But that's not physically possible, is it? What's more, I hear the victim from the evidence room just disappeared. Yes, and the body eventually reappeared in the trunk of Mr. Edward's car. Wow. This is one messed up trial. One of my duties as prosecutor is to present impartial evidence. Today I'll present evidence relating to the murder at the police department. In so doing, I believe the way in which we should proceed will reveal itself. Now that's what sets Mr. Edgeworth apart. He sounds so on top of things. Even though he doesn't know what's going on himself, And that's supposed to be an admirable trait?
Very well, let the trial resume. On the day of the crime, what exactly transpired at the police department? Mr. Edgeworth, you may call your first witness on the day of the stand.
For its first witness, the prosecution calls the suspect of the murder that occurred at the police department.
The suspect? You mean the so-called murderer?
Oh boy. Things are getting wild from the get-go. Will the witness please state his name and occupation? Yes, sir! I'm Officer Meekins, sir. My occupation is, that would be the murderer, sir.
So you're telling us you're a professional killer?
Sir, it was me, sir. I'm the one who did it. I'll never kill anyone again, sir. You gotta believe me, sir.
Actually, like...
Sir, I am what you would call a part of the younger generation, sir. Person whose actions adults can't possibly comprehend.
Please, Mr. Edgeworth, sir, help me, sir.
Officer Meekins. Yes, sir. Give us your report of the crime. Consider that an order. Yes, sir. As you wish. After all, I'm part of a generation that must be told what to do, sir. You can't fault him for a lack of enthusiasm. Crime report, sir. Although it's not my normal duty, I was assigned to guard the evidence room that day. I spotted a suspicious man on the security screen and rushed into the room. I was only doing what I was trained to do, sir. I was suddenly attacked. I fought for my life, and then I did it. After that, I passed out until another officer smacked me awake.
So the victim, Detective Goodman, attacked you.
Do unto others before they do unto you. That's the Meekins family motto, sir.
I see. And you fainted and a colleague helped you regain consciousness.
Yes, sir. He knocked me upside the head, sir.
Very well. The defense may begin this cross-examination.
What I need here is more info to work with. Mr. Meekins, you work in the General Affairs Department, do you not? Yes, sir. I'm in charge of hiring new recruits, sir. Yikes, now there's a scary thought. Evidence transferal was taking place on the day of the crime, which meant many officers were given special tasks not ordinarily performed. I was in charge of guarding the Blue Badger, sir.
Blue Badger?
Yes, sir. The lovely police mascot created by the Chief of Detectives, sir. I wasn't sure. I was to ensure it wasn't broken during the transferal process. That was my sole mission for the day, sir.
I see. Sounds like a very, important mission.
After the award ceremony finished that day, there were so many people running around that I relocated the Blue Badger to the evidence room.
So that's where you went into the evidence room.
Tell us, what did you see when you got in there? In order to enter the evidence room, you needed an ID card, am I correct? Precisely, sir. I have one right here around my neck. So then, your ID number should be listed on here, right? There it is! I found it! It's this one right here.
Could you please read us a number?
Yes, sir. It's 498-9596. That's my number, sir. I see. Huh? But the 48 the number, it shows up twice. Please explain, witness. It's no real mystery, sir. The first time was when I relocated the Blue Badger into the evidence room. The second time was when I went to go get him after everything settled down.
I see. So it was during that second time when?
Yes, sir. That was when I spotted the man on the security screen. So you were attacked. Can you please tell us exactly what happened to you? It was a knife, sir, a knife!
Detective Goodman pulled a knife on you. What happened then?
Well, with me charging in on him like that, he looked as surprised as I was. You weren't exactly the kind of person somebody would want to run into. That's when I reacted, sir. I swung my arms like an octopus, struggling to detain him. That's how I got this gash on my hand. Maybe if you just kept cool, your hand wouldn't be. When I saw the blood trickling down my arm, I panicked. I grabbed the man by his collar. What exactly did you mean when you say you did it? I don't know. I know I don't look the type, but I'm really into kung fu films, sir. The man let his guard down for an instant, so I snatched the knife from him. He took his knife. I spun him around and performed a disarmament maneuver. I made sure to close my eyes like a man. I see. He must have been desperate. Next thing I knew, his white coat was drenched in the sea of my blood. And then next thing I knew,
Rose?
He punched me right in the face, sir. After that, I passed out. Okay. About what time did you regain consciousness? No offense, sir, but how am I supposed to know that I was unconscious?
Oh, right. According to the report from the officer that woke up the witness, it was about 5:30.
He hit me right in the head, too. I woke up crying tears of pain.
That's nice. I mean, it's nice that you recovered, that is.
When I came around, though, I made sure to finish my mission, sir.
Your mission?
Yes, sir. The Blue Badger, sir. I returned him to the entrance before things got out of hand. Well, we all can rest easy now.
I believe we now have a fairly accurate picture of what happened.
Yes, Your Honor. Only one thing remains unclear. Was the man this officer murdered really the victim? He's got a point.
Yes, Officer Beacons?
With regard to that, sir, take a look at this. It was sent to my jail cell. Chief Gant delivered it to me just this morning, sir.
The Chief delivered it? What is that? A videotape?
Yes, sir. That's absolutely right, sir. A videotape, sir. It contains footage from the security camera in the evidence room.
Objection!
What? Why, I specifically asked if there was such a tape, and was told that it had been mistakenly erased.
That's quite a mistake.
I just do what I'm told, sir. It's the only thing I'm really good at. Looks like communication with the police department is as good as ever.
Well then, let's have a look. Show us the video of you murdering the victim.
Oh, please stop using that word murder, sir. It scares me. A video of a real murder. Just what are we getting ourselves into? Wait, where'd he go?
Well, I believe we're all thinking the same thing. How can we deal with these unsettling feelings stirred within us?
What the hell was that wriggling piece of plywood? Sir, that's the pride and joy of the entire Criminal Affairs Department, sir. It's the Blue Badger, sir. Why am I not surprised this isn't going smoothly?
Yes, well, anyway. This tape seems to prove that the witness did encounter someone in the evidence room and some sort of
Activity did take place. Your Honor, instead of relying on clearly incomplete footage, the witness's testimony will suffice. Is that all right with you, Officer Meekins? Yes, sir, as you wish, sir. At least you don't have to worry about the music. Uh-huh. That's what I thought. His face can't be clearly seen in the video, but there's no question that the other person was Detective Goodman, sir. I mean, he opened the locker, which required Detective Goodman's fingerprint to do. The locker he opened is unquestionably good with that Detective Goodman's locker, sir. So it must be him. No one else could have unlocked it. Unless he had his fingerprint.
What's this about a fingerprint?
Each detective has been given a locker equipped with a fingerprint-activated lock. These locks ensure that each locker can only be opened by the detective it belongs to.
Intriguing. That would mean the victim at the crime scene would have to have been Detective Goodman. Very well, the defense may begin its cross-examination.
I don't know where this cross-examination will lead, but everything begins with contradictions. That's where I have to start. Tell me, were you able to get a good look at him? At the face of the man who attacked you with a knife? Sir, if you must label people as having seen or not seen... seen the man's face, I believe I would be classified as the latter? The latter? But you were standing right in front of him, were you not?
More to the point, you are the person who fought him, aren't you?
Oh, yes, sir, but I didn't get a clear look at his face, sir. I'm not the kind of guy who looks directly at people when talking with them, you see. Yeah, that's a good trait for a police officer. Still, I'm sure it was him. I bet my badge on it. But you don't know that for sure, do you? You never actually saw Detective Goodman's face. Well, I suppose you might say that. That is, if you must... Why is everyone looking at me? If I had to label your stares as disturbing or... Meekins. Eek! Having been shown a questionable video at best, we are not in the best of moods. Now please be more certain when you testify. Yes, sir. You claim the man who brandished a knife on you was Bruce Goodman. Tell us why you are positive it was him. About these lockers, is there another way to open them? No, sir. I tried all different kinds in the past. They only respond to registered fingerprints, sir. What kind of methods he's tried?
The man opened the locker's lock. With only response was registered fingerprints. Then he must be the person the locker was assigned to.
Exactly my prints, sir. And this too. How do you know that information? I've heard rumors, sir, from people in the know, sir. People in the know? Workers in the department cafeteria, sir, they keep me informed. They also listen to my romantic trouble, sir.
For the record, the open locker did indeed belong to Detective Goodman. I verified this information through a more reliable source. The victim opened the locker with his own fingerprint.
Yeah, why did he try to open it before? However, the most important detail is not shown in the video. The man's face. Sir! If I may say something, sir.
Please do. After all, you are the one being examined.
I don't understand why the man's face is so important in this case, sir. I mean, it was his hand that opened that fingerprint lock. And it was his hand that tried to thrust his knife into my body, sir. My unsettled state can't testify to this, sir.
Yes, you have a point. The footage doesn't lie.
That is, unless the defense can find a problem with it. Mr. Wright, let's check the court record again. Yeah, there is. Regarding the video contained on this tape, there's one thing in particular that seems rather strange.
Strange?
This contradiction leads to a possibility that the man may not have been Detective Goodman.
What? This video contains such a contradiction?
Objection!
Interesting. Your Honor, I have a proposal.
Yes, Mr. Edgeworth?
I propose we have the defense point out to us this alleged contradiction in the video. You would want me to point it out?
Very well. Proposal accepted. Please let us further inspect this piece of evidence. I will now play the security tape. Mr. Wright, please show us your contradiction you speak of.
I have to point out a problem in the video? This is the first time I've ever had to do that. You can do it, Mr. Wright. It's set up so you can fast forward, rewind, or pause the video. Just take a good look and be sure to point out the right thing. Please don't play it too many times. I can't stand watching this video. How did this guy ever become a police officer?
Now then, Mr. Wright, please enlighten us. Where is the contradiction?
Right here.
Take that!
The thing that's strange about this video would have to be, this?
Hmm? Hold on a second. I need to use my eye drops. Hmm? Well, I don't get it.
Would you mind if I borrowed your eye medicine?
Don't look at me with those bleary eyes.
Before your eyes get too teary, perhaps you should think this through again. Or maybe just the cloth. Hang on. What was the knife that he used? Oh yeah, that is no switchblade. The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this.
Yes, that is strange. Something certainly seems unnatural about that. What could it mean?
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Wright, but you seem to have forgotten the point of this exercise. The point? What you are looking for is one thing and one thing only. Something that indicates the man may not be Detective Goodman.
Oh, yeah. Whew. I almost walked right into the defense's trap.
I'll place him under arrest, sir. Rats. Wait, hold on. Am I not hitting the right spot? I'm on the right track, right? Okay, so I'm a step ahead then. This?
Take that!
No.
Objection!
Yeah. I have no idea then. But this locker or the one that I was actually trying to point to? Why is the light on already? The thing that's strange about this video has got to be this. Officer Meekins. Sir, do you mean me, sir? Oh, okay, I guess that was it. So I was jumping the gun. I'm like several steps ahead. As I understand it, the locker apparatus works like this. When you grab the handle, the sensor reads your fingerprint. If it's a match, the light turns on and the locker is released. According to my very limited experience, that's the way I understand it, sir. If so, then something's seriously wrong with this picture. When the victim reaches for the handle to open the locker, let's rewind it to a little earlier. Here, notice the light?
What's this? It's already lit.
Precisely my point, Your Honor. The locker was already open before the victim grabbed the handle.
Order, order. What's the meaning of this?
It's very simple, Your Honor. The locker wasn't locked on the day of the crime. But the locks are controlled by an electronic system. When a door is shut, a sensor is triggered. And the locker is automatically locked.
Oh, I know. It must have broken down. Of course, I'm not an expert in this.
That's not likely, Your Honor. A sensor would detect and report any malfunction.
Oh well. This was to show novices should keep their mouth shut. So then, Mr. Wright, do you have an explanation?
Me, Your Honor?
Yes. Why wasn't the locker locked?
Me, Your Honor? Okay. Yes, well, you see, this is exactly my field. What do you think, Miss Scientific Investigator? Huh? Oh, maybe something like jam the system sensor? Something jam the sensor? Say... There's something else that seems out of place in this video. Yeah, I thought so too. There's gotta be another clue somewhere in this footage. Okay, that's where I found the other locker.
Very well. Let's inspect the video once more. The locker wasn't locked, Mr. Wright, so please point out the cause for this.
The other locker is irrelevant at the moment, so it would be the glove. Because when he opens it, it falls out. Please watch closely. This is the continuation of the part I showed you earlier.
What's this? Something white fell out of the locker.
But sir, it's been my experience that things fall out when the doors are opened. I often fall out and roll great distances when I roll. We can't be sure that item was completely inside the locker to begin with.
What do you mean?
The sensor triggers the lock when the door is shut. What if something was inserted, say, between the sensor and the door?
Inserted?
This white thing wasn't inside the locker. It was stuck between the door and the sensor. Oh, I understand it now, sir. It's just like my tie. 2 out of 3 times it gets stuck in the door when I get out of my patrol vehicle, sir. Instead of the door closing, the tie took.
But the object would have to be extremely thin to fit in the door.
Not only that, it would also have to block electrical currents. It would need to be an insulator.
Yes, an insulator. But at the crime scene,
there just might have been something that fits the description. But sir, by insulator, you don't mean... Finally got this figured out.
Very well. Will the defense please present the relevant evidence?
The glove.
Take that!
I found this near the locker. A thin rubber glove.
But we can't be sure that this is the victim's in the victim's locker.
It has a tag that says SL9 incident. The video seems to depict the victim opening the locker, but that isn't the case. The lit lamp attests to this.
Let's see.
On the day of the crime, even I could have opened that locker. Is this not so, Officer Meekins? Sir, it would appear so, sir.
Order! We're to believe then that the victim, whom this witness stabbed in the evidence room, was not Detective Goodman.
Objection!
Do not be misled, Your Honor.
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
The defense has merely demonstrated that possibility and nothing more. The victim in the video was indeed Bruce Goodman. The prosecution will offer one more testimony to prove this. What? Officer Meekins, please testify about this. Sir? Me, sir? I'm not sure what you're referring to, sir. Oh, you mean that, sir? Of course, sir. Is this a joke?
Very well. Begin your testimony.
Also, thank you, Mike. Not this Mike, you Mike. Oh, hey, Mike K. There is one other thing that proves the man was Detective Goodman, sir. To enter the evidence room, one must use their ID card. When an ID card is used, there's a record of it. At the time of the crime, the detective had used this card.
An ID card record, I see.
I have the ID card record right here, Your Honor. The ID card used at 514 is that of the victim.
Just before the crime, Yes, without a doubt this is the victim's ID. However, one thing does strike me as unusual. Several hundred cases should have been due for transferal. Why were there so few people using this room?
This particular evidence room was used only for storing certain special cases. Special cases? Extremely violent cases involving police staff. Just hearing that makes my hair stand on end.
Me too, well, it doesn't make much of a difference. There were only a few cases up for transferal there. Most were cleared up by noon. Right, I see. Now let us move on to the cross-examination.
Let's save scum. So, unlike your earlier testimony, you believe this to be rock solid, do you? Yes, sir. Solid as stone, sir. If my hand wasn't wrapped in bandages, I'd even give the V for victory sign, sir. Couldn't you just use his right hand for that?
But sir, not fully. As we've seen, one never knows what he might say until the very last second.
Is that card hanging from your neck one of those ID cards? Yes, sir. Card right next to my cuff, sir. I keep it here so I don't ever forget it. What if someone were to steal it from you, keeping it out in the open like that? Maybe I shouldn't wear it around my neck. Remember when I said 2 out of 3 times the tie gets stuck when I get out of my car? Well, the remaining time it's my ID card that gets stuck. Instead of the door closing, my ID card chokes me. Maybe I should just leave this one alone. At any rate, each police officer only has one ID card. Both the police department and the prosecutor's office can attest to this.
Please proceed with your testimony.
Let it be noted that this was the record the witness referred to.
Mercy. Yes, that would be Detective Goodman.
What's the matter?
According to this, Mr. Edgeworth, your name is on here.
So it is, Your Honor. I'm not the prosecutor. Maybe he's behind all this. Maybe the prosecutor, he got the ID evidence. Mommy, is that man in blue a murderer? Shh, don't stare at him. Got the wrong color, kid.
It would seem the inquiry committee will want to speak with you again today.
I have nothing to be ashamed of regarding my actions or their consequences. For now, let us continue with the cross-examination. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. Must be so difficult for him. Earlier, I believe you testified that when you asked the man to show his ID card, he pulled a knife on you. Yes, sir. He didn't show me any ID card, sir. Don't you think that's odd? I mean, if he had his ID card, all he had to do was show it to you. There wouldn't be any reason to draw a knife. Maybe he just panicked? Everything stems from contradictions. Let's point them out. Mr. Wright, what do you think? I'm confused. What? The problem with this ID card testimony is far too obvious. It's not like Edgeworth to miss something like this. You're thinking too hard about it. Come on, let's show him what we've got. Alrighty. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Shit! Wrong button. God dang it. Stupid switch controls. Still doesn't explain who the 7-7s are. this ID card?
Objection!
Wait one moment, Officer Meekins. I'm not good at waiting, sir. I have the victim's ID card right here. I found it at the crime scene.
Well, that makes sense.
When I say crime scene, I'm not referring to the evidence room at the police department. I mean the other crime scene. The underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. Your Honor, I have one more piece of evidence to present. It's a very important clue regarding the victim's ID card.
A lost item report. It's only half completed.
But it shows that Detective Goodman had lost something on the day of the crime. Something important enough to fill out this report. Let me guess. You believe that there's something to be his ID card, right? I can't say for sure, but there's a high probability. On the day of the crime, Detective Goodman was not carrying his card.
Order, order. So now, what does all this mean?
I can only mean one thing. It doesn't even require much thought. The man Officer Meekins encountered in the evidence room was not Detective Goodman, but rather the man who stole his ID card.
Order, order. Does the prosecution have a response?
I have only one thing to say to the defense. Bravo, Mr. Wright. Bravo? Allow me to summarize the defense's argument. At 5:15 on the day of the crime, the man in the evidence room Officer Meekins encountered was not Detective Goodman. There are two grounds to support this. First, the locker in the evidence room was already unlocked. Second, the victim lost his ID card. Am I correct so far, Mr. Wright? Yes? What's he up to? That being the case, we must inevitably arrive at a single conclusion. If the victim in this video is a fake, then the murderer in the evidence room is also a fake. In other words, the security camera does not show the instant of the murder. That is... Well, I guess that's right. Yeah, we only see Meekins. We don't see where the dude went. Is something wrong, Mr. Wright? Only moments ago, you seemed content to be pointing your finger around. This isn't going to end well. Well. Seems you finally realized exactly what you've gone to such lengths to prove.
Explain yourself, Mr. Edgeworth.
The defense has already done explaining for me. The victim in this video is fake, which means the murder did not take place at the police department on 5:15 on the day of the crime.
So...
The real crime could only take place at one location, the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, the murderer being Miss Lana Skye, the defendant. The evidence is compelling. A trustworthy witness observed the moment the defendant used the murder weapon. I knew that testimony was way too shabby. It was all a trap from the beginning.
Activity in the evidence room still leaves many questions unanswered. Who exactly was the victim Officer Meekins encountered? And where did this person disappear to? However, this trial's purpose is to examine only the murder of Detective Goodman.
Just so, Your Honor. Mr. Wright, you have to do something or else Lana... What do I do? How am I supposed to get myself out of this mess?
Objection!
One moment, Your Honor. What now, Mr. Wright? Don't tell me you're objecting to what you've just proven. Of course not. But I almost walked right into the prosecution's trap. What are you talking about? This cross-examination has proven one thing and one thing only. The security video did not show the actual murder. However, it cannot be said that it is unrelated to the murder in the parking lot. Specifically, large amounts of blood traces were found in the evidence room. The defense demands further examination into the truth of the matter.
Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
If this court will examine this further, other witnesses will be necessary. Is the prosecution prepared?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. The prosecution considered that the incident at the police department to be unrelated. We have not prepared any other witnesses for this incident. This just might be my chance. Time to call a certain Texas Ranger to the stand. Okay, here we go. Mr. Wright, do you mean, Your Honor, the defense would like to request a specific witness?
Oh? What do you have in mind?
Someone we have reason to believe knows the truth. The truth behind the activities that took place in the evidence room. The prosecution requests to hear this person's name before deciding whether or not to comply.
Very well then, Mr. Wright. This person whom you would have testified. What is his or her name?
Take that!
Officer Jake Marshall. Why him? I can't let Edgeworth know everything just yet. He's in charge of the evidence room. I feel like we should hear what he has to say. The prosecution agrees to the defense's request. Since he was responsible for guarding the room, we should hear his testimony. Fortunately, he works in the police department. We shouldn't need longer than 20 minutes to prepare.
Very well. The court will take a 30-minute recess while the witness is subpoenaed. Will the prosecution please prepare the witness during this time?
We will, Your Honor.
Court is now in recess.
There's no stopping you, is there, Mr. Wright? Huh? What do you mean? You called for Jake Marshall. It seems you figured everything out. I haven't figured anything out. Is she in on it? Lana, you're the one who knows everything. Emma, you always know everything. Why don't you just tell us? Mr. Wright is trying his hardest to protect you. I don't recall ever asking for his protection. How could you be so cold? Don't you trust us? Don't you trust me? I hope I'm not interrupting anything, pals. Oh, guess I am. I'll come back later. Wait, Detective Gumshoe, what is it? You got a lot of nerve, pal, making a detective run all around but on duty. And on top of it, you call me here? I've seen happier people at funerals. Sorry, Detective. You better be, pal. Hey, 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 hey! I didn't see you there, Chief Prosecutor Sky. That's okay. So, have you brought what I asked? Oh. You mean this, right? My apologies, Detective. Due to my present circumstances, I was forced to use Mr. Wright's name when making my request. My name? Never in a million years would I would have thought it was you who asked me. Could I bother you to bring me the SO9 incident files? I'll need them by noon. Talk about crazy. The SL9 incident. But Lana, that's... I thought Mr. Wright might need them, so I had them brought here. Here, you might do well to read them. I can't believe you. Chief Prosecutor, you were a witness in the case. This Sky was a witness? Files for the Joe Dark killings. Take it from me. You don't want to do it. You don't want anything to do with serial murderers. Oh, what? Now that I brought you stuff, you're just gonna ignore me? Emma? But why? Why is your name in here? What? My name's in there? I don't know, unless... No, it couldn't be. Lana, this SL9 incident, is that... That's the classification number the police filed. That's the classification number the police filed it under. 2 years ago, the rest of the world knew it as the Joe Dark killings. The Joe Dark? No, Lana. That's over with. No! Emma, wait. You know what? I just remembered. I gotta be somewhere. Sorry, pal, but I'm out of here. Jake Marshall, Angel Starr, Damon Gant, Miles Edgeworth. Not to mention Lana and Emma. Everyone involved in this case is connected to those killings two years ago. This can't be just a coincidence. Knowing you, you just might be able to figure it out. Time to get back to the trail, Mr. Wright. Best of luck. I better take a good look at this file. Perpetrator Joe Dark. Serial murder, sentence death. Victims: Edward Jones, Jason Knight, Edith Kirby, Rachel Moss, Jeb Bates, Neil Marshall. Head prosecutor Miles Edgeworth. Witnesses Lana and Emma Sky. Executive investigators Damon Gant and Lana Sky. Head investigator Bruce Goodman. Investigators Jake Marshall and Angel Starr. How much time we got left? I'm gonna save, but I'm gonna keep going. That being said, I'm going to take a short break because my stomach is growling, and I'm gonna go get myself some beef jerky just to quell that over. Let's see if I can find it. There you are. So yeah, I will be right back. Give me a Okay, and we're back. Just had to give myself a quick snack. My stomach would not stop growling. Alright, also I need to redo that Be Right Back page. Probably make it a pause screen. Anyways, let's try and continue on, try and get through the latter trial of this case.
Court are now reconvened for the trial of Miss Lana Sky.
Emma didn't come back. Allow me to call the next witness to the stand. The officer in charge of guarding the evidence room on the day of the crime. Witness, please state your name and occupation.
Me, partner? Oh, I'm just a man, same as you, wandering the trails of civilization.
Occasionally helping the elderly cross intersections when needed. Yes, we get it.
Oh, I know. You're a patrolman. As for my name, if you listen hard enough, you can hear the howling wind calling it out.
To be exact, it's Jake Marshall, Your Honor. Howling wind? I've never heard Edward described that way before. Now, Mr. Marshall, let me ask you something. You were in charge of guarding the evidence room the day the crime took place. Is this correct?
According to the papers, partner. What do you mean? A desperado's soul is as boundless as the desert sands. No paper could sum it up. Maybe it's best we get on with this quickly. Please share with us your testimony of the day of the crime. In plain English.
My job was to keep a wary eye on that bone orchard. They said I was supposed to make rounds 3 times a day, but that ain't my style. Besides, the room's protected by 2 security systems anyway. If I remember right, I was at the street side saloon at the time it went down. I'm just an innocent traveling man, so if you're out of ammo, it's time I hit the trail.
I can't say I particularly care for your attitude.
I can't say I care for your beer, but you don't see me complaining. Wait a minute. What do you mean by 2 security systems?
I mean the security cameras and the ID card reader. I reckon even a cowpoke like you knows about those.
Yes, well, what about the fingerprint-activated locks on the evidence lockers?
Fingerprint-activated locks? What kind of newfangled doohickeys are those?
He's not being very helpful.
He's not that good with machines, or with following orders. Everyone's got their weaknesses, now don't they, Mr. Prosecutor? This one seems like trouble. Okay, Mr. Wright, he's all yours.
How exactly do you keep an eye on the evidence room?
Well, I just made sure nothing moved in the security camera monitor. That room's so still, even time dies in there. I was just a caretaker who interred the recordings.
You interred them?
Videos of nothing aren't that useful. When the time would come, I'd erase the tape.
If nothing unusual is recorded, tapes are to be erased every 6 hours.
Each time I'd erase the tape, it felt like I was erasing a part of my life.
This guy has a flair for the dramatic, but this isn't going to do him any good. So in actuality, you don't physically enter the evidence room?
They said I was supposed to... that ain't my story.
But you made your rounds on the day of the crime, right?
Ain't you heard a word I said, partner? I told you that ain't my style.
I'm afraid I don't understand. No desperado and no let's rules get in his way. No desperados I know join the police force.
So, Officer Marshall, on the day of the crime,
Just between you and me, I didn't set foot in the evidence room that day.
there was a rubber glove stuck in the victim's locker. Do you know anything about that?
Sorry, partner, can't say I do. I haven't been in that crypt in weeks. How does this guy avoid being fired?
Hold it!
You used to be a detective, so you've used the evidence room in the past, correct? Of course. Back in the day, my locker was a gold mine of evidence. And yet you didn't know about the fingerprint locking mechanism? Sorry, partner. I ain't good with machines. I couldn't even tell you how a bike works. That's quite incredible. The sensors on the locker handles cannot be seen. It's well known that some detectives are unaware of their presence. Now that he mentions it, Detective Gumshoe said something like that too.
At any rate, it doesn't seem that this is relevant to the case. Can you tell us what you were doing when the crime took place?
If I remember right, I was outside saloon. What were you doing in a place like that?
I was eating spaghetti. Not even Angel's steak lunches can beat a parlor's
Vongoli sepia pasta. Am I saying that right? Excuse me, I'll get one more piece. By the way, we got a bunch of these while we're on our way back from Orlando. This is the place of what's that, South Carolina? Oh, there's two of them, South Carolina and Florida. A place called Buc-ee's. We just got bags and bags of beef jerky. So good. No. But their bathrooms were quite nice.
You mean to tell me you abandoned your police duties to eat some noodles?
I guess I've never seen the meme. Post it on the Discord. Not all desperados eat tacos, partner.
That's not what I meant. I hope this is the last. I hope this has at least taught you a lesson.
That's strange. This is unusual. This is usually where Edward says, "Did you not want to raise this year?"
Hold it!
Out of ammo, Officer Marshall? That's right, partner. Or you'd call it evidence. If you plan to pin me to this crime, then you'd better draw. Otherwise, you're just wasting my time. My steel horse is waiting to carry me back west into the sunset.
One thing seems clear. Despite being responsible regarding the evidence room, the witness doesn't appear to have seen anything.
Texas don't take orders from anyone. Everyone knows that. Apparently your superiors don't. Okay, I have a trump card up my sleeve, so I'd best keep my cool. Before I use it though, I'd better up the ante. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to. Shit. I keep pressing the wrong damn button. check. Okay. Street side saloon.
Hold it! Objection!
Nope. Is this when I bring it out finally? Okay.
Objection!
Officer Marshall, doesn't it strike you as odd? That is, you being called in to testify like this? After all, you weren't in the security room at the time, and yet you dragged me down here. Explain yourself, partner. It's quite simple. You left a very large trail behind this at the scene, or to be exact, a handprint. Listen real good, partner. Like I said, I'm the caretaker of that crypt. I pay my respects, that is, make my rounds about once a month. It's only natural my fingerprints would be in there.
Objection!
I only wish it were, officer. But you see, your fingerprints were covered in blood.
What is the meaning of this? Your bloodstained fingerprints were at the crime scene?
The blood was wiped away. However, a luminol test clearly revealed this. Well, Officer Marshall? Seems to me there ain't a person in this room with a head on his shoulders. I take it you have an explanation then, Officer Marshall? About the blood-stained fingerprints?
Very well, you may begin your testimony about your fingerprints found at the scene of the crime.
Like I said, it's only natural for my fingerprints to be in the evidence room. One of them just happened to be in the same place as a blood-stained handprint. The murderer touched the locker where my fingerprint was by chance.
The blood stain and the fingerprint are completely unrelated. Or didn't you know the murderer was wearing gloves? See? I had nothing to do with it. Witness's explanation appears valid, although there is room for doubt. Life wouldn't be fun without any doubt, partner. The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
This guy's hiding something. I can feel it. Okay, I think this is where the locker comes into play. Now's my chance to prove it. That's because, how did you put it? Pay your respects once a month?
Yeah, that's right. That and one more thing. That locker happens to be mine.
What? What do you mean?
I mean what I said. That's the locker I used when I was a detective. The locker I still use. All that's in there now, though, is a heap of broken dreams.
I see.
It'd be strange if my prints weren't all over that locker.
Apparently his fingerprints data was never removed from that locker's programming. Must have been using the fingerprint locker all this time without ever knowing it. Was he? I mean, it's hard to really tell. Yeah, this was the knife he used. There's no print, so if he was wearing gloves, there wouldn't be anything on there. How'd you know that?
I may be a loner, but I still do my job. I keep up on the reports.
There was a blood stain at the scene, thought to be left by the murderer. That's right. It was found on Detective Gumshoe's locker. However, no fingerprints were detected on that handprint. Oh yeah, I think we tried that too.
So that would mean the murderer, wearing gloves, happened to place their hand on top of Officer Marshall's fingerprint.
That's the only logical conclusion. Are you starting to get the picture, partner? The picture? The seal of blood and the desert is just food for the buzzards. There's only one reality, and that's this. The security tape?
So long as my trail isn't in there, you can't say otherwise. This isn't getting us anywhere, Mr. Wright. Please consider carefully where you're going with this cross-examination.
Yes, it was. Now's my shot.
Objection!
Or I was supposed to press first.
Hold it!
What do you mean by that? You want to tie me to this crime, isn't that right, partner? If so, that video is the only direct evidence you have.
Objection!
But that video is next to useless. It's full of blind spots.
Blind spots?
Places you can't see. The camera's panning back and forth. The floor isn't shown. If someone was familiar with the camera's position, they could leave the room without being caught on tape.
Objection!
We don't have time for your speculations, Mr. Wright.
Well, Mr. Wright, if you're going to show us evidence on this video that indicates Officer Marshall was present, please do so now.
Here we go. Tread carefully, Mr. Wright, or you might wind up being the one making a mistake. Yeah, this is just my brain working too fast.
Take that!
Bringing our attention back to the security camera is a mistake I'm afraid you'll soon not forget, Miss Officer Marshall.
The days are short in Texas, and so are our tempers. Could you sum up what you have to say in 8 words or less?
Very well. You can clearly be seen in this video.
Exactly 8 words. Not bad, partner.
The key lies in a certain locker shown in the video. That locker with the white cloth sticking out, that was the witnesses, I believe. Now then, let's rewind the video a bit.
Oh, the white cloth. It's gone. What's the meaning of this, Officer Marshall?
When the crime took place, the white cloth wasn't there. Then it suddenly appeared. There's only one explanation. Officer Marshall, you were in the evidence room at the time of the crime. What's more, you opened the locker when the camera was turned away.
Order! Order! What's in there? Hold your horses. Sorry, partner, but you got the wrong man. So what if my locker was open? That doesn't mean I'm the one who opened it. The murderer needed to hide something, so he opened the locker and stuck it in. Not my fault he happened to choose mine. Why is everyone staring at me like I'm a wanted man?
This guy isn't just playing dumb. He really doesn't know. I hate to rain it on your parade, but you're the only person who can open that particular locker.
Oh yeah? I call your bluff. You say I opened that locker, now prove it.
Oh boy.
fingerprint sensor?
We talked about this earlier today. The lockers can only be opened by the detectives they belong to.
What kind of crazy talk is this?
Well, Detective Gumshoe did mention something about this. In any case, the locks aren't that obvious. There are even some people who have force on the force that don't know about the fingerprint locks. So, Sheriff, what do you have to say in 8 words or less?
I only got one word for you, partner. No! Order! Order! Witness, explain yourself. If this is a joke, it's the worst I've ever heard.
I assure you this is no joke, Officer Marshall. Now then, please tell us what you were doing in the evidence room at the time of the crime. Was that beef jerky?
Ole, please answer the question.
What is he now, bullfighter? That's all right, Officer Marshall. I believe we can figure out the rest from here.
We're gone.
Have a look at these floor plans. There's no place for someone to hide in the evidence room. Yet Officer Meekins didn't see Officer Marshall.
If that's so, then where was the witness?
It seems Mr. Wright has an answer. That's right. The only possible conclusion.
Well then, let's hear it. Where was Officer Marshall at the time of the crime?
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here.
So Officer Meekins didn't notice him standing there. That's almost as credible as Meekins' warp theory.
Your chamber's empty, partner. Better reload. Wait, what?
And to know.
Oh, did I push the wrong one? I think I pushed the wrong one. Because I think I flipped up the positions. Yeah. Okay. It was the place of the victim, not the killer. Okay, so yeah, they were in the wrong spots.
Take that!
Okay, so get that. guessing that's supposed to be for Marshall's no. Yeah, I don't know how you managed to do get the timing right on those other times before. All right. I pushed the wrong one. He's right here.
Take that!
Officer Marshall was standing right here.
There, but that's what the victim, Detective Goodman, was.
Correct. Unless the man wasn't Detective Goodman. I believe the victim in the video is Officer Marshall. It was you dressed up like Detective Goodman.
Objection!
But that's preposterous. Officer Meekins witnessed a detective at the crime scene. Once he saw the man's face, he'd know for sure.
Objection!
May I point out though, that Officer Meekins did not know Detective Goodman. He also testified about the man's reaction when confronted. Something about the officer's story puzzled me. If the man had his ID card, why didn't he just show it?
Or else he would have needed it to enter the evidence room, so he must have been carrying it.
The answer is simple. He couldn't show it. As you can see, Detective Goodman's picture is on his ID card.
Oh, I get it.
If he showed that, his cover would have been blown. Officer Meekins would have realized the man wasn't Detective Goodman. Do you have anything to say to this, Officer Marshall?
You got quite an imagination, partner.
We got a term for that. It's called circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence? He's still denying it.
You have to do better than that to break a detective. Unless you got hard evidence proving I dressed up as the victim. I can't say I particularly care for your uncooperative disposition.
I can't say I care for your beard, but you don't see me complaining.
Well, Mr. Wright, do you have any evidence proving beyond a shadow of a doubt that Officer Marshall dressed up as the victim?
Well, I'm kidding, I don't have anything like that. I can see the fear in your eyes, partner. It seems you're the one who couldn't take the desert heat. I almost said dessert. This can't be happening. It's so obvious he's the one. What can I do?
Looks like your lack of experience has finally been exposed.
I'll pass on to you what someone told me when I was just starting out. When you run into a wall with no place to go, return to the basics. The basics? For me, that would be what Mia used to tell me. Try thinking outside the box. I shouldn't look for proof that Officer Marshall was in disguise, but rather I should look for evidence that came about because he was in disguise. Why do you think this locker was open in the first place?
What do you mean?
There's no reason Officer Marshall opened his locker at the time of the crime. Yet he did, despite the chance that it might be discovered later as it has been. Which means he didn't originally plan to open his locker.
According to the defense's argument, Officer Jake Marshall dressed up as Detective Goodman at the time of the crime. Then after the crime was committed, he opened his own locker for some unknown reason.
To hide the coat. The fact that a white cloth is sticking out of the locker seems to indicate that he opened it in order to put the cloth inside.
So, just what exactly is this piece of cloth?
Perhaps Perhaps the video is the key to our unanswered questions. I don't have any evidence, so this video is my only shot.
Very well. Let's take yet another look at the security tape. After witnessing the crime, the witness opened the locker to put away the white cloth. Please show us why the witness had to open his locker.
Because the coat was bloody. For some reason, you disguised yourself as Detective Goodman and entered the evidence room, though I don't know to what end yet. However, something unexpected happened. Officer Meekins barged in on you. When asked to show your ID card, you pulled a knife on him. However, Officer Meekins panicked, and the white coat you were wearing was soiled with blood.
A bloody white coat.
You couldn't just walk out like that, so you hid the coat in your locker.
Not bad, partner. Now then, Officer Marshall, are you ready to tell us the truth?
Looks like I underestimated y'all.
I hope you're happy now, Mr. Edgeworth.
2 years ago,
if you were the only half as persistent then as you are today, we all wouldn't have to be here now would we?
Officer Marshall, tell the court what you did. All of it.
All right. Seems the time has come
to save and do this another night. So because of this little cliffhanger, I'm going to make the decision to keep playing this for the rest of the week, tomorrow and Friday, for the sake of completing this game so we can finally move on to another one, namely Resident Evil Separate Ways. So, yeah, we'll stop here for the night. We'll put a to be continued on this. Do I even have it? I do not. But yeah, we'll stop here and we'll pick this up again tomorrow. Rather than continuing with Control, I'm not in a rush to finish Control, but I am in a rush to finish this because I'm so close to finishing it. I have no idea how far I am in Control, so this is the more this one has the better indicator that I'm close to finishing it. So we'll stick with this for the rest of the week. And so once that's finally done, Mondays and Tuesdays, hopefully next Monday and Tuesday. Actually, no, scratch that. Next Monday might have to be the start of Separate Ways if I don't finish it this week. If I do, the finale will probably have to be that following Monday. However, next Tuesday happens to be Halloween, and I'm making the decision not to stream that night, so instead I'll be holding a watch party. I'll get more into detail about that in a second. But yeah, I'm making the decision to keep playing Ace Attorney for the rest of the week just to finish it. So yeah, the links down below. The first one will take you to the Lazy League Discord, where you can be able to find the rest of us, such as Oh Hey Mike K, the Batgwen, Gummed Up the Gray, and many others in our circle who also stream. Check them out, and there's a lot of other fun stuff that goes on there. Like I mentioned, watch parties, because that Tuesday, a Halloween night, probably a little bit after. I don't know how long it's going to take Batgwen to finish his playthrough of Castlevania Symphony in the Night, because he's going to be playing that. I think in like one go, just to try and like complete the whole game. I don't know how long that's going to take, but I'm pretty sure he knows that game, like how I know Metroid games. so you could probably finish it pretty quickly. But I digress. I'll be holding a watch party of Resident Evil Death Island. I don't know what time that will be. Probably around maybe 10 o'clock ish. So yeah. Those of you who are on the Discord, there you go. I'll put the announcement up. I'll probably put it for that time, but that's going to be pretty lax depending on start time. But yeah. Other watch parties include Lazy Anime. Hopefully we'll be able to start that back up on this coming Saturday. And also hold Star Trek watch parties on Sundays. Yeah, check that all out. Other fun stuff, tabletop gaming, D&D, gaming news, Penguin news, event stuff, and anything and everything else in between. Should be able to. Okay. The second link will take you to the sister site for this channel, where you can be able to find more info on other upcoming streams that I have planned, as well as my archive of all the past streams that I've done. And if you got any questions, comments, or concerns that you would like me to know about, or any suggestions that you might have for me for future Let's Plays or Retro Nights, head on over to the contact page and shoot them out to me over there. Alternatively, you can also scroll down below or off to the side, depending on which platform you're watching from, to find the Twitter link. Or you can also reach out to me from there, along with other links to help support the channel, and several other streamers who aren't connected or affiliated to the Lazy League. There's just ones that I personally like to watch and follow. Check them all out whenever you can. They're all great. And again, thank you for joining me tonight for this continuation of episode 5 of Ace Attorney. We'll continue it tomorrow and see where it takes us. Till then, take care, love and hype. Life is good. Good night, everyone.